Gonna make sure everything is working before it gets started. That looks good. This one looks good. All right. Got 2 drinks to try today, as usual. We've got Cove Prebiotic Soda and Galaxy Pop. I'm a sucker for anything space themed, so I saw this and picked it up. Although I didn't notice it had erythritol. I tried to learn the pronunciation of it for the sweetener, and I complained about that yesterday. Anyways, and we also have 3D Energy Blueberry Mist. And I tried to visually theme my drink selections. So we've got blues today. Anyways, I'm going to do my little presentation of sorts with each drink, and then I'll check the chat and see if anyone has any comments, questions, or anything. I'm obviously no expert of anything. I just like doing these little drink reviews. But let me put Twitch into emote only mode. All right. I think I'll start with the Cove drink. Let me get my cups, actually. Okay. First up, Galaxy Pop Cove Prebiotic Soda. Really like the branding. I'm a fan of space themed stuff. So we got the stars, we have Saturn there, this little spaceship, and then some sort of atom or something. Not too sure, but looks pretty cool. Well, there's another planet with rings around it up there. Yeah, very cool looking. Let's see, does it have a flavor type? No. Anyways, says contains less than 1% juice, 10 calories, 115 milligrams of sodium. Is my mic working? Let me just check real quick. Yeah, it's working. 4 grams of dietary fiber. So this says erythritol, which is a sugar alternative. I learned the pronunciation. So we'll see if I remember in the future. But it's Erythritol. I've complained about this sweetener in the past, but it is one of the older more natural ones. And I think it's from fruit and such, but there is some research on that one, so you want to read up on it and understand what you're drinking. I do these drink reviews, obviously, so I do drink it, but there is some research on that one available that's more recent, and it goes on into concerns and such about that sweetener. So, anyways, 10 grams of erythritol in here, and then 70 milligrams of vitamin C. For the ingredients, we've got filtered water, erythritol, ACACIA fiber, acacia fiber. There's always things that I won't be able to pronounce properly in these drink reviews and snack reviews. Lemon juice concentrate, natural flavors, citric acid, blueberry juice, Himalayan salt, blueberry essence, stevia extract. That's another low-calorie sweetener, sugar alternative that you want to read up on, and vitamin C. So this is canned in the USA. Let's see, Cove Drinks in Wilmington, DE. Caffeine-free, gluten-free. Yeah. I'll just show it up close and go over that again so you can see it for yourself. There it is. I really do like the branding. Galaxy Pop, Cove, zero sugar, prebiotic soda. So that's the fiber in here. That's why they call it a prebiotic soda. Contains less than 1% juice, 10 calories, 150 milligrams of sodium, 4 grams of dietary fiber, and then it has the erythritol, 10 grams. Do your research on that. Understand what you're drinking. Because there is some research on that low calorie sugar alternative at this point. The ingredients: filtered water, erythritol, acacia fiber, or however you're going to pronounce that, lemon juice, concentrate, natural flavors, citric acid, blueberry juice, Himalayan sea salt, blueberry essence by this company. Trust your gut. Zero sugar. Yeah. It says, it's a little difficult for me to read when I'm holding it up like this, but it says 1 sip and you're floating through flavor space. No spaceship required. Okay. No colors from artificial sources. That's cool. Yeah, they got me with the branding of it. Anyways, we can open this up and try it out. Interesting. It's a bit of a pink color. Surprise. Also has a lot of foam on the top. Yeah. See the carbonation. And like I said, quite a bit of foam on the top. That's different. Maybe it's from the fiber that they add to it. So it's not really normal for regular soda pop, except for maybe a cream soda type drink. Cool. Do a smell test here. See what it smells like. It smells like berries. Let's see which ones it has in here. So blueberry, lemon juice, blueberry essence. Yeah. So it should taste like berries of some sort. It smells pretty nice. It's a general berry smell. Looks cool. And it's naturally colored, so that's good. Let's try it out. Again, this is the Cove Galaxy Pop Prebiotic Soda. Hmm. It's tart. It's pretty flavorful. It does have kind of a slickness as I drank it on my tongue afterwards. I don't know if that's from the fiber or what. Overall, the berry flavor tastes pretty nice. And you can see as it's kind of leaving a film on the cup as I move it around. Almost like a beer. It does have a fair amount of sodium in here. 5% of your daily value. 150 milligrams. So if you want to be drinking your sodium, it's up to you. But that's about as much as a small bag of chips. give or take. The fiber does make it different than a pop, but it's not bad, really. Mm. So I'm personally not a fan of this erythritol sweetener. I'm a little concerned about what I've read about it. But I mean, if you're just going to drink one of these a day or something, you shouldn't have any concern, really. It's 10 grams. The research that I had seen was on 30 grams. Yeah, whatever. You can look it up and read about it. But it was related to cardiovascular issues. So, again, do your own research and understand what you're drinking. But I think it's good to at least mention it. Obviously, probably, this sweetener has been around a long time, so you shouldn't be too concerned. But it's good to know and learn and think about it. Yeah, it does taste pretty decent. I like the bit of sourness in the drink. I would say it's more like a carbonated juice type flavor rather than a soda pop thing. I'm gonna try it from the can and see if it is any different. Yeah, the carbonation in here reminds me more of my brain is stopped working. More of a cream soda type carbonation compared to just like a standard soda pop. So it's not super strong carbonation, if that makes sense. It's like a softer. I don't know how that works with different bubbles or whatever they're adding to it. You would think it'd be all the same stuff, but yeah, it seems a little bit different. The main things I notice, like I said, is the sourness to the drink, a bit of a berry flavor, and it does have actual blueberry in here. It's not a lot, but it's in here. So 10 calories is fine. The dietary fiber, assuming it works well with your gut and such. I've had other ones like Olipop, which bother me. Like they're more noticeable in what happens afterwards. But other ones like Poppy and Culture Pop, I don't have an issue with. So it depends on you and what your body's going to tolerate well. So this one does have different type of fiber than I've seen. The ACA, CIA fiber, Acacia fiber. You'll just have to try it out and see if it's good with your body specifically. But it is an interesting combination. There's so many of these prebiotic sodas now that have popped up and are on the market. Overall, I like the flavor of it. I'm not thrilled with the sweetener that they use. I'm okay with stevia, but I mean, research is always changing, and it's not necessarily concerning, but it's good to learn about. Yeah. Sorry, carbonation's getting to me. Okay. Oof. Anyways, that was the Galaxy Pop Cove prebiotic soda. Pretty nice. Again, I really like the branding. It's really cool looking. They got me with that. Anyways, next up, wipe this off so it's so much condensation on it from sitting for a few minutes. These streams take quite a bit of time to get set up because I have to put a bunch of data into the Amazon app. I do multi-streaming, simulcasting, with my Scotty Joe food reviews thing. I do a bunch of other stuff too, but these are for the drinking snack reviews and stuff. So YouTube, Twitch, and Amazon. Anyways, taking a look at this 3D Energy Blueberry Mist. This is an energy drink. No surprise. 16 fluid ounce, 473 milliliters. Has 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is kind of getting up there in the caffeine amount. Let's look at the nutrition facts. 10 calories. 135 milligrams of sodium. 2 grams of total carbohydrates. Has niacin, vitamin. It's really difficult to read these. I think it says vitamin B6, B12, and pantothenic acid. Okay, the ingredients are over here. Wow, this is really difficult to read. So the can is kind of like printed, misprinted. Got carbonated water, citric acid, malic acid, sodium citrate, natural flavors, sucralose, which is a sugar alternative. Again, do your research on any type of low-calorie sweetener sugar alternative. Sucralose does have some mixed research on it at this point. It has caffeine, potassium sorbate, which is a preservative, sodium benzoate, which is a preservative. Then the vitamin B3. Okay, it was B3, not B6. And then we've got L-carnitine, tartrate, taurine, acephane potassium. That's another low-calorie sweetener sugar alternative to read up on and understand what you're drinking. And then pantothenic acid, vitamin B6. So there is B6 in here. Okay, there's B3, B6, B12, and niacin, pantothenic acid. All right, I'll show it on screen. If you can read it better than I can. I like the blue combo here. It's a pretty looking mix of blue. 3D Energy. Blueberry Mist. And we've got Energy Evolved. Zero sugar. No artificial dyes. 200 milligrams of caffeine. Which is on the higher end. I think a lot of these drinks that are around this size cap out around 300 milligrams. Some of them are like 120, 150. So this one's 200, which is, again, going a little bit towards the higher end for a 16 fluid ounce, 473 milliliter drink. And for example, a cup of coffee, which would be smaller than this, probably 80 to 115 milligrams, depending on how strong it is. Nutrition facts, 10 calories. Sodium amount, 135 milligrams of sodium, which is quite a bit for a drink. 2 grams total carbohydrates. Then we've got our vitamins, niacin, B6, B12, pantothenic acid. And then those are at 200% of your daily value. And they have a cautionary statement about caffeine. Yeah. And our our ingredients. It's a little bit easier to read on the screen, surprisingly. See if I can hold it steady. Carbonated water, citric acid, malic acid, sodium citrate, natural flavors, sucralose, as well as acephane, potassium. Those are sugar alternatives. Do your research on those and understand what you're drinking. Potassium sorbate, which is preservative, sodium benzoate, preservative, and then the various vitamins and such. I see your comments. I'll mention that once I open it up. And then we've got all the energy drink stuff, all carnitine, tartrate, taurine. Yeah, I think we're good on that. I'll open it up. It has a black top and tab. That's pretty cool. Oops. I'm going to open this up. Okay. Whoops. That was probably loud. There it is. It doesn't have any artificial coloring, which is nice. Do a zoom in. See if my camera will focus properly. So it doesn't look like a lot of carbonation. It's clear, which is good. Yeah. Looks nice. All right. Let's do a smell test. It does have sort of a berry smell. Obviously, with a drink like this, it's kind of a manufactured smell. I wouldn't say that it smells bad, but yeah, just a slight berry smell. It is blueberry mist, so no surprise. Anyways, that is that. The 3D Energy Blueberry Mist. So let's try it out. As I drink it, I can still get the carbonation. There's a pretty strong berry flavor to it. Obviously, this doesn't have any actual fruit in it, so it's all flavorings that they add to it. I think it tastes pretty decent. There's some sourness. There's the tanginess from the citric acid and such. Let's see. It's so hard to read from this direction. It has citric acid and malic acid, and they're up towards the top of the list here. So it's fairly sour and tangy. That adds to the fruit flavors. Yeah. Overall, I'd say it for a drink that has no actual fruit in it. It tastes pretty decent. That blueberry flavor, plus the tanginess of those acids, I think works out decently well. Yeah. So with any type of flavor, it's tough to portray that, and it's going to be personal preference based. For me, it does seem manufactured. Any type of energy drink like this, with all of the sugar alternatives that they use. In this case, it is aspartame potassium, and I think it was sucralose. Yeah, sucralose and aspartame potassium as the sweeteners. Which again, do your research on those and understand what you're drinking. That's just not going to taste like regular sugar. So if you're okay with that, and then adding the berry flavors plus the tanginess, I think it's decent flavor wise, at least for me. Let's try it from the can here, see if it's any different with the carbonation. Yeah, obviously pouring it into a glass, you're going to lose out on some of that carbonation. but I do think there is enough flavor here that if you did want to put it into a glass and add some ice, you should be good on that. You'll still get some carbonation, you'll get a decent amount of flavor and such. Yeah. Yeah. And the fruit flavor here to me is going to be like a candy type fruit. It's not a realistic berry flavor to me. So again, if you're okay with that type of flavor, then it might be a good one for you. Yeah. Overall, I don't know if I'd get this again because I just don't need a lot of these types of drinks. But I think it's an interesting one. The flavor seems okay to me. It's a bit tangy. It's got the sweetness from the sugar alternatives, 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is a fair amount. It does have quite a bit of sodium in here as well, 135 milligrams, 6% of your daily value in sodium. So you'll be drinking that. And yeah, interesting one. So again, that was the blueberry mist from 3D Energy. Cool. That was it for my little drink reviews for today. I do have another thing, but it's kind of not on Amazon, at least not the size of it. So I'm probably going to sign out of, sorry, of Amazon and try these out on YouTube and such. But yeah, see you around on there. Again, if you want to follow the Amazon page, that would be cool if you're on there. I do drink reviews, but I also do technology reviews and everything else at this point. So see ya on there. So this is a little added bonus for the other streams. Old Dutch original potato chips. 160 calories. Let's say, did you know something? It's gluten-free, no MSG, natural flavors and colors. 160 calories, 10 grams total fat, 1 gram of saturated fat. 135 milligrams of sodium. So this has the same amount of sodium as this. And 15 total carbohydrates, 1 gram of dietary fiber, 2 grams of protein. Has trace amount of calcium, 6 milligrams, and 332 milligrams of potassium. So this is made in Canada, apparently. Potatoes, canola, and or sunflower oil, salt, and Old Dutch Foods Inc., which is in St. Paul, MN, but it's made in Canada for whatever reason. And they have a bunch of marketing material. I can show that on screen. Look at that. I find it odd that it's the companies in the United States, St. Paul, that's MN, is that Minnesota? I'm not sure. I've never tried to memorize the state abbreviations, but then it's made in Canada. It seems like a lot of effort to make potato chips. That. Let's pop it open. I would say that the smell is not great. Almost like dog food smell. So that's what it looks like. Yeah. Well, what's the date on this? September 2026. Should be fine. That's what it looks like. Very thin chip. Try it out. Reminds me of Lay's type potato chips with how thin they are. I'd taste salt. Really? Mm. Pretty crunchy. That one's a little bit darker. And crunchier. And that one tasted kind of off. Must have been a bad piece of potato. I've definitely had better potato chips. But they're edible. Yeah. Hmm. They, to me, the salt takes over a little bit too much here. And the potato is noticeable, but it's just not super prominent. Like, I don't know how much do potatoes have a taste? Probably not a big taste, but with the smell, which I've gotten used to it, it doesn't smell like amazing by any means, but it's not bad. They're okay. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy these again. But that was the Old Dutch original potato chips. Yeah. They seem okay. I'll eat those, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get those again. I'll probably buy more flavors just to try them. I did try the all dressed ones that were ridges, like thicker. Those are better than this. Anyways, I'm going to sign out of my YouTube stream here. But thanks for stopping by. If you watched the reviews, if you want to follow that channel, that would be good because I'm trying to obviously grow all of my YouTube channels, and any free subscription will be helpful down the line because there's a thing called the YouTube Partner Program, which you need. There's two different tiers of it. There's 500 subscribers, and then there's 1,000 subscribers. But then there's also amounts of watch time that you need in a year to reach those as well. But it's at like 200 something subscribers, which again is a free thing. You just have to click on it, and then you get more recommendations of my content and such. If you want to do that, that would be cool. But that, and then the watch hours. This channel has very low watch hours right now, so the chance of me getting into the partner program on this channel is pretty low. But I keep making these reviews. They're pretty fun. So that would be good if I could eventually get in that. And on the second tier, I can make some money from ads. And I would assume that YouTube already places ads on my content. So they're making money, but I'm not making money. That's how it goes. Anyways, I'm going to sign out of there.